Yaakov Cohen. I feel excited and privileged to be able to share some words of Torah, words of inspiration with this amazing Zoom in Torah, Zoom in Shiurim group in this Making Counting Count initiative. So just to jump right in, we're in the time period of Sfiras OMER. And in Sfira, we know that we have, of course, this joyous celebration as we count the days from Pesach to Shavuos. But of course, we also have this mourning component, this component of Avelus as well, where we don't get haircuts, we don't have weddings, and other signs of mourning that we show. And so, of course, we know that the reason for this mourning is the fact that the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva passed away during this time period, up until Lag BaOmer, when the mourning ends. And the cause for this is very explicitly stated in the Gemara and the Talmud, in the Gemara in Yevamos, Daf Samach Beis Amud Beis, where the Gemara in Yevamos tells us, Shalo nahugu kavud zeh b'zeh. The reason for these tragedies that took place is because the fact that the Jewish people, the students of Rabbi Akiva in specific, didn't respect one another. So the question that many ask is, how is this midah keneged midah? How is this measure for measure? How could it be that such tragedy took place because Jews didn't respect one another? They just simply didn't show each other respect? That's all they did? How could it result in lives being lost? We have a basic moral obligation as Jews, and that is that we're supposed to emulate God. The formula for that is very explicitly stated in many points of the Talmud and the Gemara, where it says, Mahu af ata. Just like Hashem is fill in the blank, so too you should also be like that. Mahu rachum af ata rachum. Just like God is merciful and compassionate, so too you also must be merciful and compassionate. So if you would think of one of the main components, main traits of godliness, what would it be? What's one of the most common traits that God shows us in the Torah is that He's a creator. How do we emulate God as a creator? We know that as human beings, we create things through bricks and stones and tools, but how do we infuse life into another human being? How do we infuse a soul into another human being? How do we spiritually create? How can we possibly create in the way that God does? How do we emulate Him in this way? So if you look back to the beginning of the Torah, literally the first parak of the Torah in Bereshis, where we see the psukim that describe Hashem creating the world, we see one word that comes up more than any other word. One word that Hashem shows us describing how He created the world more than any other word. So what word would you expect to be used more than any other word? Asa, to make. Bara, to create. Bana, to build. But the word that's used more than any other word in describing the creation of the world is the word Vayomer. And He said, Hashem created the world through speech. We say it every single day. We remind ourselves of this. In Baruch Sha'amar, where we say, Baruch Sha'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who created the world through speech, who spoke and created the world. In Pirkei Avos, we say the same thing. Ba'asara ma'amaros. God created the world through 10 utterances. God created the world through speech. So we want the secret to how to create. We want a secret to how to create spiritually. Hashem, who's spiritual, created through speech. The way we can create in this world is through our speech, through our words. It is the most powerful tool that we have. Every single one of us has the ability to change lives through our speech. Anytime we see a person who is suffering, especially now more than ever during this pandemic, people who are suffering around us, whether it's people who have experienced loss, people who are experiencing sickness, people who are experiencing financial loss, or any other challenge of just being quarantined in their homes and feeling isolated and feeling alone. We have the ability to change lives through our speech. We say a kind word to another person. We infuse life into them. In the Torah, we say, Ata machayes kulam, Hashem, you infuse life into every human being. We can do the same thing. We can infuse life into every human being through our words, through complimenting them, praising them, saying something nice to them, just reaching out to them to show them that we care. When we use our words for positive things, when we use our words to help people, to make them feel good about themselves, to raise their self-esteem and self-confidence, their self-worth, we literally infuse life into them. We change their lives. We change their emotions from challenging, difficult experiences to positive experiences. We change their soul. We change their emotions from feeling sadness to happiness, from low self-esteem to high self-esteem. We literally change lives through our speech. And we change the world through our speech, whether it's through words of Torah, words of tefillah, of prayer. Every word, every positive word that we use can change the world, can create a new world around us. And God forbid, negative speech can do the exact opposite. Negative speech towards another person can take away life. When we get to understanding the students of Rabbi Akiva who didn't show respect towards one another and the fact that lives were lost, the idea behind it is the fact that they took away life. When they used that negative speech and disrespected one another, they took away life. We want to be able to infuse life into other people, to fix the mistakes of our ancestors, of the people from the past. We want to fix the mistakes that the Jewish people have made so many times. We use our speech for positivity. We build people up through our speech. When we do, we infuse life into them and we create a whole new world.